I want to lose weight, but I don't know how to get started.
What should I meal prep every week?
How do I get those sweet booty gains?
Inspiration for your healthy lifestyle. The Pound This Podcast with Amanda Valentine.
Hello, friends. Welcome to the Pound This Podcast. Before I get into this fantastic conversation with Hunter all about fat loss, his journey, food, exercise, controlling your controllables, all of the above, I want to tell you about some other people that can help you along on your journey. One of them being Sarah and Team Fit With Me, who has been a part of this podcast for a long time and has helped so many people with their goals, whether it be fat loss, losing weight, getting stronger, having somebody just be accountable for you. She works so much with gut health issues and hormonal issues. She will run labs and blood work and really figure out what's the best way for you to eat and move. And not only that, but like, what does your sleep look like? What does your stress look like? Look at you as a whole person and come up with a plan and help you reach your goals. And the same thing with budget too. So I know you hear like health coach and oh my gosh, how much is this going to cost? And Sarah will work with you at where you're at, meet you where you're at, listen to you. So have a conversation with Sarah, reach out at teamfitwithme.com and just make that step and have that accountability buddy. You don't have to do it alone. Somebody will help you with your nutrition, counting macros, exercise, all of the above. Teamfitwithme.com. She is fantastic. Also fantastic if you're here in Cincinnati is Clean Eats for meal prep. I've been meal prepping for over a decade, and let me tell you what, it's real nice to have someone else meal prep for you. And there's so much more variety. You can do the frozen meals, the fresh meals. I like to order 21 fresh meals a week. That covers my breakfast every single day, lunches every single day, and dinners every single day. I'm only responsible for snacks, and that's a whole heck of a lot easier than cooking for the whole week. And guess what? A whole lot less dishes too. So if you struggle with eating healthier foods, and we even talk about this in this episode with Hunter about being prepared, Clean Eats helps you be prepared for a healthy lifestyle. So check them out. Clean Eats in Newport here in Cincinnati. Thank you so much for listening to the Pound This Podcast. I am Amanda Valentine. I'm very excited for my guest today because you were an introduction to me from my friend who has been on this podcast a lot, as people know, is Shred Happens. On Instagram or from Kaizen Pasta. And he's just like, this is a great health coach. You should have him on the podcast. We had a conversation. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're doing really awesome things. So welcome to Pound This. I introduce you as Health with Hunter or just Hunter Stoller or do you go by your Instagram handle?
Some people call me Health with Hunter. My name's Hunter, but thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm so excited to hear all about you and your story and how you're helping other people with their health and wellness. So I guess, tell me about, your background and then where your interest came into talking about health and wellness.
Yeah, that's a loaded question.
Right.
Thanks for having me again. So my name's Hunter. I run at Health with Hunter on Instagram and TikTok. And I was introduced to you by Arash, Shred Happens, the founder of Amazing Kaizen Pasta. And he thought that it would be a great fit for me to come on this podcast because we talk about a lot of similar things. We have great interests that are in common. And I am 23 years old. I live in New York City, and I used to be 50 pounds overweight. So I used to be 225 pounds at 5'11". And I took it upon myself to really put myself first. And I ended up losing 50 pounds of pure body fat, which we could definitely get into a lot more because I know you focus a lot and talk about a lot about weight loss. And I'd love to talk about the difference between weight and fat loss because they're very different things. And I lost 50 pounds through sustainable practices, sustainable diets. Diets become such a dirty word over the past few years, but a diet is simply the pattern of eating of a man, a woman, an animal, anything, a plant. So I became a certified nutrition and health coach along with my full-time job. I work at American Express. I'm a marketing analyst, so that's my full-time job. And this health and nutrition coaching is my side job, and it's my passion. And it's where I'm truly able to help dozens of clients, hundreds of followers, and thousands of people around the world eat clean, get lean, and feel good. That's my motto. And I try to make health simple for them.
So what spurred you to lose 50 pounds? Like, were you just like not feeling good in your own body? Like what was the catalyst for that?
So many things. So many things. I had horrible acne. I had a big stomach. I was an XL, sometimes a double XL in my clothes. I just felt uncomfortable. And it was actually the Thanksgiving before COVID started. So November, late November, early December of 2019, when I realized, I looked down at my plate and I was like, there's literally only carbohydrates on my plate. Like I had sweet potatoes, I had mashed potatoes, I had butter, which obviously is
You had
part
all
of
the
the fat,
best
but
stuff.
I know, but it's the best stuff, but it needs to be portioned when
Yeah.
you're trying to be healthy. And you want to load up on the non-starchy vegetables. You want to load up on fiber. You want to load up on protein, and then there's always room for those more fun, delicious foods. I eat them all the time, every single day. But I realized something had to change. And what came to my mind was listening to podcasts. I didn't really read. I don't like reading. So podcasts are great for me. And I just started reading online. Instagram, TikTok wasn't really a big thing at that time. It started picking up like once lockdown started. And I just started using more portion control around those carbohydrates and fats. And I started exercising more. When I used to never exercise. I remember my mom used to tell me, because I was in high school, or actually I was in college. I was home because of COVID. She used to be like, Hunter, are you ever going to work out? Are you ever going to work out? And I'd be like, no, mom, leave me alone. And now I'm the one who's always working out. And she's like, stay home. So times have changed.
So like what kind of workouts did you start doing in COVID then? If you were on lockdown, did you just like watch YouTube videos or go for walks?
Great question. So we thankfully got a Peloton a few weeks before COVID started. So I was cycling a lot. Alex Toussaint, Jennifer Sherman, Cody Rigsby. I was doing them all, and I was doing them with friends. I was challenging each other. I made workouts fun, and just a combination of doing, even though it really was cardio, because that's what cycling is, with a little bit of weight resistance, depending on how hard you go, along with portion control, Weight Watchers, F Factor, 2 diets that I did to help me lose 25 pounds each. They taught me portion control. So no matter what diet you do, if you're portion controlling and you have a healthy relationship with food, they're going to work.
Yeah. So are you doing at any point in all of that? You said Weight Watchers. I don't know how Weight Watchers currently operates. Were you doing any like macro counting, calorie counting, any of that stuff?
So fast forward to now, like looking back on it, I never counted macros. However, I've always prioritized protein. And I say to my clients now, and I wish I knew it back then, if your calories, protein, and fiber are in check, meaning you're in a calorie deficit, you're eating enough protein that you're reaching your protein goal, which we could get into, and you're eating at least 30 to 35 grams of fiber a day, you're going to stay full, stay satisfied, along with drinking more water. You're going to be losing body fat. So I say, as long as your calories are in check, along with your protein, carbs and fats, which are the other 2 macronutrients, along with protein, let them float however they float every single day. Because and you still have to track them and be aware of them, whether you're using a tracking app or Weight Watchers or whatever it is that you're journaling your food in, if you are journaling. Let them fall how they fall, but make sure you're prioritizing your proteins and you're not going over your calories.
Well, I know so many people, I mean, we're all supposed to get a pretty decent amount of protein. And I know so many people struggle with that. They're like, how am I supposed to eat this much protein? So what is your recommendation for that?
Yeah, great question. So I host 5-day resets often, and I work with tens of amazing men and women who really just have the main goal of getting leaner, losing excess body fat, and getting stronger, which 90% of my followers probably want to do, including me. So for someone who isn't 500 pounds and someone who isn't 80 pounds, the 99% of people who fall within that range, I would say you should take your reasonable goal weight. So if you currently weigh 150 pounds, and let's say your ultimate goal weight's 120, that's 40 pounds. Like, that's a big difference. Let's focus on slow and steady. Let's do 130. So it's 20 pounds down. You want to take a reasonable, sustainable goal weight and multiply that by 0.7. That should be the minimum amount of protein in grams that you're eating a day. And that is just so that when you're in a calorie deficit, you keep your protein amount high so that you're going to be losing body fat, not muscle. I don't want you losing muscle. I'd rather your weight stay the same and you maintain your muscle. Because when you lose muscle, you get weaker, you become hungrier a lot quicker, and you're a lot weaker in the gym and just in regular daily activities.
So, what are your thoughts on things like protein powder?
I love protein powder. I use protein powder every single day, whether I'm making a protein smoothie, protein pudding. I am including protein in a baking recipe, which I don't do that often, but I definitely make either a smoothie or a pudding every day. I say I just try to control those controllables and really focus on protein powders that have great ingredients and that make me feel good. Some people are vegan and they don't do whey-based proteins. Some people are animal-based and they don't do vegan proteins. Some people are sensitive or allergic to, whey or dairy and they can't do those. So they go for a plant-based. But no matter who you are, there's always a healthy option for you. But I'm a very big fan of protein powders.
Yeah, because I know that so many people that, like we were just talking about, like struggle with getting their protein in. And it's like that's such an easier way to do it. But I think that a danger zone with protein powder is it's easy to be like, I'm going to add this to essentially a chocolate shake of like how you can make that be like you're trying to hit your protein goals into all of a sudden now you're adding like a babillion calories in and you're kind of defeating the purpose.
Yes. And that's why I'm so happy there's so many flavors of protein powders, and some of my favorites, like I can name them if you want, but I also have a product recommendation sheet on my website with dozens, and I have a free Amazon storefront. One of the good things about social media, there's obviously a lot of goods, a lot of pros, a lot of cons. There is so much information accessible to you, but the con of that is you have to really sort through it and see which applies to you and which is fake information and which is applicable to you. I strive to make health simple. My motto is health made simple. And that's because my initials are HMS. So I thought it just flows really well. I want to take the stress and the complication away from my followers and my clients and just people going to my page, because I provide them with grocery lists and product recommendation sheets. And I really just try to simplify it so that you have simple options. And if you want a chocolate Carvel shake, sure, there's always room sometimes for that actual chocolate Carvel shake, but you could also make a very decadent and rich chocolate protein smoothie at home, and you could add toppings to it. And not only will it be delicious, but it'll be double the size. You'll have more volume. You're actually going to be filling your body with ingredients and foods that are nourishing yourself, and you're going to feel good, and you're not going to feel sluggish and bloated and inflamed and get acne. My body is so sensitive to the foods that I eat now. A little backstory, I used to be on Accutane. I was on Accutane 2 times. Do you know what Accutane is?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a very serious acne medicine for anyone who doesn't know. And I was on it twice. My dermatologist, neither of those times ever thought, and this was a very amazing dermatologist, she never thought to ask me, I went to a few actually, they never thought to ask me about my diet or my lifestyle. All they did was say, what medications are you on? Okay, we're going to put you on this. And it's really crazy to me because and I'm not saying I'm a dermatologist, I'm certainly not, but just by understanding lifestyle choices and what you're eating, what you're drinking, etc., like that really dictates your health so much. And now, fast forward, after being on Accutane twice, once in 9th grade of high school and during COVID, I realized that my diet dictates my skin so much more than I think. And when I eat out more often and I eat more, seed oils and I eat more processed foods, I tend to notice that I get a lot more breakouts.
Yeah. So whenever you've started making some lifestyle changes, like how quickly did you see results in it clearing up your acne?
It actually is really crazy. So Accutane definitely works, but it definitely helps get that extra 20, let's say Accutane's 20% of it, but then the other 20% was fully fueled by my diet and also a great skincare routine, which I'm obsessed with my skincare routine. It's so simple, it's so easy, and it's just, it's the best products I've ever used in my life. And what we're eating and what we're also putting onto our body, whether it's body wash, hair gel, shampoo, conditioner, skincare, they all really affect us, our hormones and how we feel. And whether we're irritated or we get a rash. I used to not be able to shave without getting a huge breakout, and I never shaved because of it. And I only shaved like once a week. Now I shave 2 or 3 times a week because I controlled my shaving cream. I controlled and learned about non-toxic swaps for the products that I was using every single day.
Oh, that's awesome. And I think that's like a side effect people don't think about either. Like, I think when people think about eating healthy or exercising, it's really easy to be like, aesthetics, this is what pant size I'm wearing, this is how I look, this is what the scale says, versus like, no, this is just like what my skin says, and how that makes such a huge difference.
Your body, I forgot the saying, but your body says a lot about your current condition. I don't know do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, your body will tell you if you're experiencing something.
Well, and I think it's so interesting, like currently, again, like talking about like diets having a dirty connotation to them. I'm technically doing a diet, but I'm not doing it for like weight loss or aesthetic reasons. I'm doing Whole30 right now because I have an autoimmune disease. I have Hashimoto's, and I know gluten and dairy inflames that. And I've had like so many like joint aches. So again, it's not so much about powering through like aesthetics. It's like, I feel bad. I know that's a trigger for me. Let me do this thing that's 30 days that eradicates so many things. So then I can slowly bring them back and just do this elimination diet. So I can tell like exactly what is affecting me in those ways. So just like you're clearing up your acne, I'm trying to clear up joint pain through what I'm eating. And I've been doing it at the time of recording this, I've been doing this for 10 days now. And already my joints feel so much better. And I knew that they would, but it's like, it's so easy to be like, whenever you're going out to eat or you're being social there's like gluten and dairy isn't all the best things.
It's really the power of food, and food contains so much information for our bodies. And I'm so proud of you, because I'm a very firm believer that I strive the way that I eat. Obviously at the beginning it was because I really wanted to lose all the extra weight, because I was very uncomfortable and bloated all the time and just felt gross.
Mm-hmm.
But now I eat to feel good. And when you feel good, you look good, both internally and externally. And when you really focus on shifting it from, eating for weight loss to eating to feel good. And this is my thing. I eat to feel good so that I wake up every morning feeling lighter, leaner, not heavy and not inflamed. And I just like starting my day the right way. And the foods that you eat the day before really dictate how you feel the next morning.
Yeah, totally. So tell me a little bit about how, you did the weight loss, you got really passionate about health and wellness. So then what was the process you went to get certified so you could help other people?
Yeah. So one of my 2 graduation presents actually I'll go a little bit before that. Senior year of college, I was in 1 class each semester, because my program that I was in, which by the way, I did not do anything nutrition or science related in college. I was a data analytics major, and right now my full-time job is in marketing. So it doesn't really have that much to do with data analytics, but of course it helps, but it has nothing to do with food. And I really wanted to help other people. I created an Instagram, and people were reaching out to me with 50 followers saying, are you taking on clients? Because I was posting before and after pictures and just talking about things. Now I know 1,000,000 times more than what I knew now. It's so funny. But I was like, no, but you know what? Maybe I should get a certification so I could actually help people. One of the people that I followed, she was a certified integrative nutrition and health coach. I reached out to her and I was friends with her, and she referred me to this program, and I asked my parents, and it was part of my graduation present, to become a certified nutrition and health coach. And I did the 6-month accelerated course through the nutrition school, the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, which is amazing. I cannot recommend it more. And it taught me so much about bio-individuality, how there's no one size fits all to nutrition and diets. Primary foods or secondary foods. Primary foods are the foods that aren't on our plate. It's the things in our life that affect ourselves, whether it's our financial situation, our relationships, our home, our lifestyle, our car, everything. And then secondary food, which comes second, is the food that we're actually consuming. So there's so many interesting ideas and facts that I learned through the doctors, professors in the IIN that really helped me. And from there, I put up a coaching form in my bio on Instagram, and I created a TikTok. And before I knew it, I got follow. I became great friends with some amazing dietitians who were so nice and so supportive and helped me, which they had no need to support me. But I definitely pay it forward, and I'm so thankful to them. And here I am now. And I'm helping a lot of people every single day on Instagram and TikTok. And people every single day I wake up to at least one DM saying like, you've helped me so much, or you've changed my relationship with food. You've made me not fear this food. And now I'm including this in my diet, like blah, blah, blah.
That's awesome. Well, it's, I mean, you knew what, like going through your own struggles and how you felt that. So, but now that you've been coaching other people, like what do you see are the top themes that other people, that like most people, or at least the people you're working with, are struggling through?
So one of the things that my followers and clients really resonate with me on is that I practice what I preach. I've been there. I've done that. I know you have too.
Yeah.
But you don't do health coaching, right?
I used to. I don't now.
You used to. Okay.
Yeah.
So what was the question again?
What's the most common themes of like the struggles that everybody's going through?
People need more preparation. No one prepares. How are you supposed to get through your day eating healthy, reaching your protein and your fiber goals and your calorie goals when you have a fridge full of junk food? You can't. You need to put in the work. You need to put in the time. I make it so simple because I provide grocery lists, whether you're paleo, vegan, vegetarian, animal-based, whatever you are. My grocery lists are so applicable for everyone because I include all the types of food groups. I make it so simple. Oh, go down this aisle and get this. And you could go to Kroger, Trader Joe's, Meijer, Target, Whole Foods, anywhere and get all the stuff, you know? You could go on Amazon, Thrive Market. There's so many grocery stores accessible to us now that the opportunities are endless, but preparation is number one. When you're without preparing and thinking about your meals the night before, the morning of, how are you expected to succeed? You're going to work, but you're not bringing your own breakfast, lunch, or snack. Like, what are you going to do? Rely on the build your own salad bar where all the vegetables are drowned in oil? Like, you really need to think ahead and understand that. Second is simple swaps. I help so many of my followers and clients swap, when they're making sauteed vegetables, they might put 5 tablespoons of oil in. And instead of that, oil is not bad. Oils are one of the healthiest fats that we could have. However, swapping it for an avocado or olive oil spray, or even reducing the portion of that, they don't even notice a difference and they're shedding off hundreds of calories. So hitting calories are a really important thing. Third is they hate exercising because they don't have a plan that they enjoy.
Yeah.
I don't prescribe meal plans. I don't prescribe exercise plans, but I do give exercise and meal ideas. Only dietitians could give meal plans. And I really am a very firm believer that you need to find an exercise and a movement type that you enjoy. Walking, running, HIIT, a bike, cycling. You could also do strength training, which I strongly recommend all of my clients do. And you exercise to feel good. I always say nutrition controls, and a lot of people associate the gym with weight loss when it's absolutely not that. And I try to preach that every day on my channels. Nutrition is the driver of fat loss. The gym is the driver of improved mental health, improved cognitive function and abilities. And the gym is also for muscle mass and your cardiovascular health. The gym is not for weight loss.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I've seen all of the above, and I am such the being prepared thing, which is why I became like a meal prepper. And that's such a thing for me, because I would be like, if I have to open the fridge and I'm like, what am I going to do? I will always make bad choices. And yeah. I'm like, and plus I have set, like you brought up earlier, portion control, where I think that for me, if I had, and I've done this on myself, this is 100% true. If I made an entire huge skillet of stir fry, I will eat the entire thing, no problem. But if I actually portion it out, I will notice when I eat those portions, I'm full. I just have to give myself a stop sign. So it's like having, go ahead.
No, it also takes us around 15 minutes for our brains to really understand what you're putting into your body, the food and drinks, and 15 minutes to actually start feeling levels of satiety. So if you're sitting with a 7-portion stir fry, sure, it might be healthy for you. But another thing that I'd love to touch on is there's a very big difference between healthy and healthy for fat loss. You could have all of the almond butter, all of the olive oil, all of the avocados and nuts in the world. It's so healthy for you, high in omega-3s. It has some protein and fiber, packed with micronutrients. However, it's hundreds, if not thousands of calories. Portioning, meal planning, meal preparing they're all so essential into helping us enjoy those foods while also staying on track with our health and nutrition goals.
Yeah. And I think that's such a light switch that makes a huge difference, because I know for myself in the past and so many other people have like, I'm eating healthy, I don't get it. And it's like, well, it's really easy to like mow down half a jar of peanut butter. And I know like 2 tablespoons doesn't seem like much, but if you actually like see what the portion is and like feel it and like live it, and then you can understand it more. So I think it's so much experimenting.
And there's another great tip that I tell my clients is find the foods that are more trigger foods for you and find the single serve portion of them. They have single serve bags of potato chips, popcorn, peanut butter, almond butter, fruit, everything. So if you're triggered by tortilla chips, lucky for you, they serve 9 out of 10 companies that sell tortilla chips, serve them in single serve bags. So you could grab one, walk away.
Do you know what's so funny? It's like I knew this, but I didn't until I saw a TikTok where they're just like talking about how when like you're just eating so many straight up tortillas. Like would you sit there and eat like 13 tortillas and you're like, no, and you're like, oh, but you would eat a whole basket of chips at a restaurant. I'm like, oh my God. Why didn't I think of it like that?
I've never thought of it too until I saw it on social media, but that's where I say like social media can be very informative in some ways.
Yeah, where it's just like eye-opening of thinking of stuff like that, where it's like, yeah, I would absolutely not open a package of tortillas and eat the entire thing, but I would eat an entire bag of tortillas.
No.
So weird.
It's crazy.
So do you feel like, so you said that you do a lot of like food swaps. Like what do you feel like is the most popular swaps that help people out?
So one of the things that I preach is controlling the controllables when you can. I don't even know if I found that phrase from someone else, but I kind of coined it and I kind of run off of that because I don't think I've heard it from someone else, even though I'm sure someone said it. Control what you can when you can. Don't stress out when you can't. When you're going to a Mexican restaurant, I don't worry about what oil they're cooking in. When I'm in the house, I make simple swaps that help me feel good. Swap omega-6 fatty acids, which are more pro-inflammatory, for omega-3 fatty acids when they're simple, easy, and readily available. Swapping Lay's potato chips for Boulder Canyon potato chips, which the Lay's might be made with soybean and sunflower oil, for the avocado oil or olive oil potato chips from Boulder Canyon. They're both greasy, they're both delicious. However, the type of oil that they're using in both of those chips makes a difference in how our bodies feel. We want a 1-to-1 ratio of omega-3 to omega-6 fatty acids in our body. And right now, most Americans are probably getting close to a 30-to-1 ratio of omega-6 to 3. So we definitely want to balance and even that out by incorporating more omega-3 anti-inflammatory oils into our body.
So what does like a day of eating look like for you?
Great question. So I thrive off of consistency, thrive off of structure. I know a lot of my clients don't have any structure. Some of them skip meals because they think it's going to, help them lose weight quicker when all it does is backfire. I preach eating more to lose more. So for me, who right now is 175 pounds, 5'11", I'd love to lose a little bit more and maintain a leaner body. I'm still trying to drive a little bit of fat loss, but it's hard, So what does a typical day look like for me? I usually start my day off with a coffee with half and half, a black coffee with half and half, 1 or 2 tablespoons. And then breakfast every single morning is my Health with Hunter yogurt bowl, which is one of my staples in my day. I am obsessed with it. I eat it every single day, which includes non-fat Greek yogurt. Any brand is good. If you like cottage cheese, you could swap it for that. I just hate cottage cheese. I do a tablespoon of chia smash, which is an amazing jam made with great ingredients. They have so many flavors. I do a serving of frozen organic wild blueberries, which are from Whole Foods, the only ones I like. I love them because they contain double the antioxidant level of regular blueberries, and I just like the frozen ones. You could do fresh if you like fresh, whatever works for you. I do a serving of Catalina Crunch cereal, which, believe it or not, has a seed oil in it. So I'm not perfect, and it's really about that 80-20 mentality, choosing not pick your poison, but pick which foods are, less healthy for you because they might taste good to you, and they might contain other nutrients. Like it has 9 grams of fiber and 11 grams of protein per serving, and it's delicious to me. So I include it every single day. I have a serving a day, and I move on. It makes me feel good. I don't feel gross from it. It's okay. And then I also usually top it off with either a tablespoon of peanut butter or 2 tablespoons of peanut butter powder.
Awesome.
And that is the Health with Hunter yogurt bowl. That's what I have every single morning. And then after that, I either have an apple or an orange wherever I am sometimes. That's what I've been into recently. Lunch really varies. Sometimes I have a salad with a protein, fiber, and healthy fats and dressing. Sometimes I have it depends what I'm doing. Sometimes I have a smoothie. Sometimes I have protein pudding. For snack, usually I either have like a big bowl of popcorn and I don't know, just like whatever I have, like maybe some chicken, maybe some turkey. I love making bagel sandwiches using like the Royal or Better Bagels, which is a very high fiber, high protein bagel that's made with pretty good ingredients. And I put like turkey and avocado on it. So I make like a really nutrient dense sandwich, bagel, whatever. And then for dinner, I love steak. I love vegetables. I love sweet potato. It's really just about portioning out those carbs, those fiber-filled complex carbs, so that they're not making up too much of your plate, but you're enjoying them and getting satisfied by them. And then when it comes time for dessert, I just say keep it 200 calories or less, no matter really who you are. I love midday squares. I love Clio bars, and the list goes on and on.
So how do you prepare for that then? So you said, the number one thing is to have a plan. Do you have a menu written out for the week? Like, how do you figure out what you're going to do every day?
Obsessed with that. I love that question. So I don't have a menu because once again, right now I'm actually in between moves. So I'm home right now at my family's house, and it's just like whatever we're doing. Like tonight I'm going out to dinner with my dad. Tomorrow and the next night we're hosting the Jewish holidays. So we'll have a buffet. So which actually is a good topic. We'll go into that in a second. But what do? I really just make sure I'm stocked with the proteins, whether it's chicken breast, steak, deli turkey, chicken sausage I've been obsessed with recently, and protein powder and Greek yogurt. Those are my protein staples that I have literally every day. And when I go into work, I always make my yogurt bowl, freeze it, and bring it into work. So by the time it's breakfast time, around 9:15, I eat the yogurt bowl, and it's like melted and like defrosted a little bit. I bring my own lunch to work sometimes, and if I'm too lazy, I make sure to go to either a salad place or Springbone Kitchen or somewhere where they're serving nutrient-dense food. I prepare my coffee the night before. I prepare snacks. If you're not getting the hint, guys, preparation is key. Think about your meals before. Think about if you could bring them, if you're going to be home, think about where you're going to be and control those controllables. And when you go out to dinner, you don't have to worry about it. Eat whatever the heck you want because you deserve it. You've been great all day. And I don't want to say you've been good or bad with food, but you've been on point. You've been reaching your protein. You've been feeling good, eating nutrient-dense, whole, real foods with good ingredients. You deserve a meal out, and you deserve to do whatever you want at that meal.
Awesome. So you said do you want to come back and discuss buffets or holidays?
So great question. So really, I just wanted to discuss if you have a big meal, like whether you're having you're going out to lunch or you're going out to brunch or you're going out to dinner. I hate it how it's so common for people to skip meals in anticipation for a big meal, whether it's a buffet, you're going to a country club, you're going anywhere. We should not be skipping meals. One of my clients last week was going to Carbone, a restaurant in New York City, for dinner, and it's a very heavy Italian restaurant. And she was telling me that she's like, don't worry, I'm just not going to eat breakfast or lunch. I'm going to go into it just drinking water and coffee, and I'll work out before. I'm like, no, you're going to faint, first of all. Second, I would much, much, much rather you eat a nutrient-dense, full of protein, fiber, and healthy fat breakfast, lunch, and afternoon snack, and drink a lot of water going into that meal so that you're fueled, you're full, you're nourished, so that when it comes down to dinner time at 7:30 or whenever she was going, I forgot, you could sit down. You won't need the bread basket. That's a big thing of mine. You do not need the bread basket because it's just there to spike your blood sugar and make you hungrier. And you can eat a normal sized meal, and you're not going to be ravenous and starving and need 10 servings of pasta, So starving yourself backfires. And I think that that's proven time and time again.
Well, I do want to bring up, since you brought that up, though, like holidays, like you were talking about, you're going to have a
Yes.
buffet for a holiday. And I think that's what's so tough, especially as we're kind of coming into more holiday season, where you think of candies and cookies and cakes and like all of the things. So it's like, I think that, which is why we all do the January thing, right? Because it's like YOLO up until January.
Right.
It's like, well, how do you balance that then? Because it's like you associate these certain events in your life with food, and normally that food isn't celery sticks.
We live in a very food focused society. Nothing's wrong with that, but we really need to remember. I mean, I stand by the 80-20 mentality, which kind of goes along with if 80% of the foods and the meals that you're having are on point, they're full of protein, they have vegetables, they have fruits, they have nutrients, healthy fats. You could allow yourself more leeway to enjoy those foods that are either more ultra processed or, more inflammatory, or just foods that you really want. Sometimes, not all of the time. We all need to set a boundary with ourselves. Everyone's boundary is different, and understand when enough is enough. And I know it takes a lot more than just saying that. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of willpower, but we all need to really understand and have a conversation with ourselves of when enough is enough and when to cut the crap. Because if Halloween comes around and you're a mother or a father or you're trick-or-treating, like it's very easy to eat 10 Hershey's bars and then, you're going to feel gross the next day. It's inevitable. But, having willpower to, put 9 Hershey bars in the freezer, take one out and then have that one. That's just one example that I've done with the client last year. Everyone's different, and you really need to find what works for you. But stop skipping meals. Make sure that you're controlling the controllables. It's a recurring topic, and making sure that your meals are balanced and healthy, so that when it comes time to indulge, you don't have to feel guilt. You should never feel guilt about it, especially when you're eating healthy foods 80 to 90% of the time.
Yeah, and to kind of just even bring it back to what you brought up earlier with exercise, of doing what you enjoy, I think that you have to find healthier foods that you actually like. I think that's such a downfall too, is when you're like, this is a diet food, quote unquote, or this is a healthy food, and you're trying to choke down Brussels sprouts and you hate them. Like, obviously you're not going to stick to a healthy routine. You have to like actually find things that you enjoy, just like your breakfast bowl of like, what can you find that you like get obsessed with, so it doesn't feel like you're torturing yourself.
And it's become a thing, the Health with Hunter yogurt bowl. You have no idea. It's like a thing on Instagram and TikTok where people are literally eating it, tagging me in it. They're obsessed. They're hooked on it. And it makes me so happy because that Greek yogurt is packed with protein. The Catalina Crunch has a ton of fiber and more protein.
Oh, do they sponsor you?
No, none of them. Nothing. It's all out of pure love. I'm just obsessed. Catalina Crunch, sponsor me. I am obsessed. And the Chia Smash I love. I'm friends with Anna, the founder. It's just so nice. And it's such a colorful, delicious meal that I eat every day. And, it takes a lot of stress out of my day, knowing what I'm eating for breakfast every single day.
Yeah. And that's my experience of being a meal prepper. Like, I don't mind eating the same thing every day when I like it. And I'd like, that was so much feedback I've gotten over the past decade, is like, oh my God, I can't eat the same thing every day. I'm like, well, you can make, that's a whole ongoing conversation I can go into forever of like how you can do those sorts of things. But it's also like, well, if I really love it, like I do want to eat it every day for me. And I'm like, I found something I enjoy. I look forward to it every day. And the moment that I don't look forward to it and I don't want to eat it, then I'm going to stop it and I'm going to do something else. Like,
then I'll start having eggs for breakfast again.
Yeah. So it's like I think it's just listening to yourself. And I think that you have to like also honor yourself and not just like pigeonhole yourself into this, like, this is what health is. You also have to listen to what you like love and what you hate through the process.
Of course. I cannot agree more. Listen to your hunger cues. And that is one of the most important things that you said on this podcast. And it's so true.
So what kind of successes have your clients seen since you've been working for them or working with them?
One of the biggest things, I mean, I probably have worked with over 150 clients since I started. I work a lot, and because I love it. And one of the things that clients, I'll just name a few: more structure, more discipline, more control around their trigger foods, introducing their trigger foods, so many more meal options, obviously a lot of weight loss in the form of body fat, a new appreciation and love for the gym and learning how to exercise to actually feel good, not really focusing on exercising to lose weight, because that's not how I want you to think about it. Developing a lot healthier relationships with food, learning out of sight, out of mind, which is what a dietitian that I follow says. When you have a really big trigger food and you can't control it, there's no need for it in your house. What else have my clients? Just like a new appreciation where they realize that they can eat more to lose more, eat more vegetables, eat more fruit. No one's gaining weight from eating too many vegetables or fruit, to be honest.
Yeah.
Eat the pineapple, eat the berries, eat the Brussels sprouts and broccoli if you like it. Like, focus on fiber. I always say, prioritize protein, focus on fiber, factor in your healthy fats, and control your carbs. That's one of my things. And they've really learned how to do that and build balanced plates. Is that enough?
Yeah. So if somebody is listening to this and they want to work with you, what does that process look like?
Yeah. So right now it is extremely busy. I'm not going to lie. Like, whether it's, my full-time job, content creation, but working with clients, which I have over a dozen right now. I do have a form in my bio on Instagram and TikTok at Health with Hunter, where you could join my wait list, and I will certainly reach out to you as soon as this spot becomes available. And yeah, I could help you eat cleaner, eat more, get lean, and feel good.
Yeah, but in the meantime, they can just see all of your tips and tricks and swaps and everything on TikTok and Instagram.
100%.
Awesome. Well, Hunter, it was so great meeting you and chatting with you. And I imagine that everybody listening to this got some good takeaways and probably continuing to change some lives today. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
AmandaValentineBites.com